Hey guys and gals, got a new one here. So, I was watching a couple of YouTube channels the other day, Uncle Tony's Garage being one of which, and he was talking about, what he did in high school and what his cars were, stuff like that, the stupid stuff they did to cobble their cars together and what have you. And you can watch a lot of it over on the VinWiki YouTube channel. And nothing against them, they're all fun. But hardly any of them ever talk about the cheap shit that we did when we were in high school. Figure, I was in high school, I started my freshman year in 2001. I started high school, graduated in 2005. Okay, so that kind of gives you a time frame of how old I am. So, I wanted to give you some of my car stories. And get them down in film, and, my memory's not the best, so, well, maybe if I get them down, I may not be able to remember them when my grandkids come around, but, well, they can watch this channel and figure it out, if it still exists by that point in time. So, my very first car, 1981 Plymouth Reliant, canary yellow 2.6 hemi. Yes, you heard that right. 2.6 hemi. 4 cylinders of pissed off putty tap. I'd say Fury, but there was no Fury in that car. Bought the car, I don't know how many owners previous. I bought it off my math teacher. I traded him $100 worth of work, and I borrowed $100 from my mom. So a grand total of $200 for the car. Okay? Got the car, and the work trade deal I had worked out for the other $100 was moving irrigation lines in his alfalfa field. Alright, cool, no problem. Well, I ended up doing that most of the summer, plus bucking hay for him. So, actually, he ended up paying me $100 to take the car. So, that all worked out well. So, the first 2 weeks I had the car, I'm driving it up to his house to move the irrigation lines. Lost the starter up in his top alfalfa field. So I had to have my dad and his buddy come up with a Toyota pickup truck, tow us on a chain about 8 miles back to the house till I get a new starter the following week. Okay, pretty common. So now, this car, I gotta tell you, it was actually immaculate and beautiful. The car itself was gorgeous.
Find some parts for your truck.
Canary yellow, so it's an off-white, yellowish color. But you give the car a good coat of wax, and the paint was 6 miles deep. Going down the freeway, you can watch the clouds in the hood as you're going down the road. Love that car. Alright. So, driving it around in high school, just beating the crap out of it, being a normal kid. Chasing my buddies up through the, gravel roads and everything. My stepbrother had a Jeep Grand Cherokee that his dad gave him. And our one other buddy that was kind of a motorhead / his dad had a lot of junk cars laying around. He was in a Firebird. And I distinctly remember we're going up around a old cemetery where I grew up. There's a long gravel road cut between towns. And big old swooping corner. Going around it, we're probably doing in excess of 40, 50 mile an hour. We got the Firebird in the lead. He's drifting around the corners. My brother's in his Jeep. He's got it in 4-wheel drive to keep control. Here I come bringing up the rear of the little K car in a 4-wheel drift in the gravel. having a blast. Then we go up on these old log roads, and it gets a couple spots that are going to be too rough to get the car through. So I stop, set the brake, jump in my brother's Jeep, and we take off. Well, we get a little ways, come back, jump in the car, and take off. I forgot to take the brake off. So we're coming down the hill, and I hit the brake pedal, and there ain't no brakes. And then I come around the corner, and my brother stopped in the middle of the road waiting for me to see where I'm at. I start pumping up the brakes. I get it stopped just in time. Realize what I did. So, end up, get him down to the bottom of the hill. Alright, go park it at my buddy's house. Let the brakes cool down. Okay, we got that home. No problem. Driving the car a couple more months. And driving downtown, and there's a little bump in town. Everyone knew about it. Hit the bump. All of a sudden, the car's making this god-awful, grinding, squalling sound. What the hell? Look behind me, there's a trail of sparks. Oh, dropped a muffler on the ground. Okay. Reach up underneath of it. Grab the muffler, rip it off, throw it in the trunk. Well, now the car sounds kind of cool for a 4-cylinder. Alright. So, I drive around the car like that for, I don't know, probably a month. And then I meet up with a guy that I'm trading snowmobile parts for. You know, I'm taking snowmobiles apart for him, and he's, trading me the parts for the labor, so I can piece together one of my old sleds. Okay. And, he's listening to the car, and he's saying, man, that thing sounds like crap. I'm like, well, yeah, but I don't have money for an exhaust system. He says, okay, well, what you do is you go down to the parts house. Get yourself the shortest cherry bomb you can get. And I got some pipe laying around and a welder. Get the shortest cherry bomb you can get, 2 exhaust hangers, and come up to the house. Alright, cool. I'm not sure what we're going to do, but it's got a cherry bomb. It's going to be cool, right? So, we take and crawl underneath the car. Cut the catalytic converter out of the middle of the car. Get rid of the rest of the exhaust system that's just crumbling. I'm not even sure we used a Sawzall on it. I think we used a pair of scissors. Alright. It had a 2-inch pipe coming off the motor. So like I said, 4 cylinders, a kitty cat purring power. Alright. Go down to the local exhaust shop and get them to stretch out a piece of 2-inch to a 2.5-inch for the adapter to the cherry bomb, because I couldn't find a smaller one, and the tailpipe that we had is actually 3-inch. So we get one stretched out to 2.5-inch, and then we get a 2.5 stretched out to a 3. The exhaust shop, the guy, he does it for me, but the look on his face, he's going, oh dear God, what's this boy doing? Take it back up to the house, and I ended up coming up with, I believe it was like a 14-inch cherry bomb, 16 inches overall, or maybe it's 18 inches overall. Shortest one you can get. Put it on, and then my buddy's got a 3-inch tailpipe off of his old K5 Blazer, and well, we put that on. At 90 degrees, comes out right underneath the driver's side rear door. Cool. Now it sounds like a pissed off lawnmower chasing a herd of bees. Alright. I love the sound of the car. It was so terrible, it was great. Everyone the car, you can hear me coming from a half mile away. Just this god-awful racket coming, because I always have my foot on the floor. You know, people ask me, well, what do you get for fuel mileage? I don't know. I always have my foot on the floor. So, I wanted to tell you about that exhaust system to tell you about the rest of the story. So, my mom and dad were separated. Me and my dad lived over in a town called Plymouth, over here in Washington State. My mom lived in Marysville, about, I think it's 115 miles away. And I go over for the weekends and what have you. Well, one weekend my sister was over with me. We decided to take the K car and go over and see Mom. We leave town, you know, and it's probably, I don't know, 7, 8 o'clock at night. And to get from Plymouth to Marysville, you got to go up over Snoqualmie Pass on I-90. We're climbing the grade, and it's a pretty good grade to get up to the top. You know, there's a couple good hill climbs. Raining like cats and dogs. I mean, it was almost like being back in Georgia. It was raining so hard. Well, that car had an extreme amount of blowback. So, every 6 weeks I'd have to change the air filter because it'd be completely soaked in oil. Well, the other thing that car had was a cold air intake right off the grill, went straight back to the air cleaner. Well, the rain was so heavy that night, it was actually starting to suck water into the air cleaner. So, we're trying to climb this last grade. It's 1.5 miles, and the car's spitting and sputtering. We're doing about 40 miles an hour. You know, the car's just barely wanting to run. I got it glued to the floor. Alright. Pull off at the exit at the top of the grade. Get out. Take the air cleaner off. And yeah, this old weird canister oval air cleaner. Pull it out. It's completely soaking wet. It probably weighs almost 10 pounds. Soaked in water and motor oil. I'm frustrated. I just hucked it over into the ditch. Sorry whoever had to pick it up. But throw it off into the ditch. Put the air box back together, which I can see there's standing water in the bottom of it. But no way to dump it out on the side of the road. So just put it back together and away we go. We make it about another 35, 40 miles. Car's still running like shit. Down into a town called North Bend. Well, my sister got to stop and go to the bathroom. Alright, fine. Pull off to the mini mart. And car's just Alright, come on. Well, she's inside. I'm sitting there trying to keep the car running. Because I'm afraid if I shut it off, it won't start again. Alright. Well, so, to put into terms how much oil this car used, it was 115 miles from my dad's house to my mom's house. I would leave my dad's house, I'd be half a quart low. When I got to my mom's house, I put in a quart of oil. When I got back to my dad's house, I put in another half a quart of oil. So we're going through a half quart oil every 100 miles. That tells you how bad we're... And it's not just leaking out the seals. It's mostly going through the breather. Alright. So I'm sitting there in the parking lot. This is probably about 8, 9 o'clock by this point. Trying to keep this car running. Got the side pipe on it. And there's a group of car guys sitting there, you know, leaning up against this, probably, you know, at the time it's, you know, a hopped up I don't know, 300ZX or, you know, Honda car of some sort. It's lower, got the wide fenders on it. Nice looking car, but not my flavor. Alright, they're all sitting there talking. Car really started to bog out, so I just shoved it to the floor. And you hear bop, 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 boom, boom! And it let a 4-foot ball of flame come flying out that side pipe right at that guy's car. And I wish I was exaggerating, but I'm not. About that time, my sister comes out. I don't even let her get the door shut. I throw the car into reverse, take off, go up the on-ramp. I got a 2-foot flame coming out that side pipe all the way up the on-ramp because I'm trying to hurry up and get out of there because I figure those car guys are going to chase me down and whoop my ass. So that little thing's just screaming. And come to find out what happened, all that fiberglass packing in that glass pack, well, it got so oil soaked when the car backfired, it caught fire. And that's what was, all that fiberglass packing was burning out of there. That's what caused the fire. Now, it was pretty cool at that time of night, but if I wouldn't have been so scared, it probably would have been a lot more cool. Alright. So, then the following weekend, or a couple weeks later, I'm over at my mom's house, and for some reason we are all going back over to my dad's house. I don't remember why. We're going down 405. It's a 4-lane wide, interstate. My mom's in her Kia minivan. I'm in my little Plymouth Reliant. Mom's over in the carpool lane. Hold on, I gotta clear my throat. Sorry, allergies getting to me. But my mom's over in the carpool lane. She's got everyone in her rig. I'm in the slow lane by myself. And we decided we're gonna drag race down the freeway. Kia minivan versus Plymouth Reliant. Why not? Funny part is, her Kia minivan's a gold bronze color, and I'm the canary yellow, so it kind of looked like two streaks of shit chasing each other. Well, that Reliant, if you wound it out all the way, and I mean going downhill with a tailwind, it'd do about 87 mile an hour. And I'm being favorable on that. It's probably more like 78 mile an hour. But I had her wound out all the way, and I blew the heater core all over the floor. So, to get it home, I had to stop about every 20 miles, put a gallon of coolant in it, because if I got the engine over about 65 mile an hour, it started dumping coolant on my floorboard. So, got that all fixed up, no big deal. Then, doing a high school science project, had to go out, back in the day, you go out and collect plants and bugs, that kind of crap. Okay. Well, tell your dad you're going to go to one side of the city, pick up plants and crap. End up going to the other side of the city. Back in the day, I had the old bar track phone. Well, it fell out of my pocket in my driveway. So I'm going up this old log road. And, well, there's a radio tower at the top of it. And I'm up there by myself, over 8 miles up this old log road. And, well, I'm starting to get into deep ruts and snow and ice. Do I stop and turn around? Hell no, I'm a guy. So, okay, so we're going up these old switchback log roads, and okay, it's got ruts and everything. I'm in a little, K car. Well, all I'm doing is just staying up out of the ruts. Not that hard. And I get to within 2 miles of where the radio tower is, and there's a snow-covered section of the road. Well, I I see the ditch on one side, and well, I don't want to go in that. So I'll stay to the outside. And sure enough, I found the soft shoulder, sunk the front end of the car up off the cliff. It's about a 40, 50 foot drop on that side. Well, crap. I got no cell phone. No one knows where I am. And I'm at least 8 miles up on this log road. Now, I did pass a truck with a snowmobile trailer about a half mile back. But, of course, they're nowhere to be seen or heard. Okay. So, I start walking. And I ended up hiking down about 6 miles. And that truck with the snowmobile trailer happened to be coming down. So I ride on their trailer down to the first house, you know, so I can call my dad, tell him what kind of an idiot I am. Get down there, and real nice old timer. He's like, well, here, let's jump in my old truck, go up there, see if I can get you out. Okay, cool. So we go up, he takes one look at it, no. He said, if I try to pull you out, either we're both going off the edge, or we're both just going to be stuck. So he takes me down to my house, get a hold of my dad, get my butt chewing. Alright. So we grab our buddy with the Toyota truck that had towed me home when the starter went out. Go back up there, and my buddy puts his little Toyota truck in the ditch on the other side. My dad gets in the car, and we give it one good yank. Well, now the whole driver's side is hanging off the cliff, not just one tire. So my dad gets out of the car in quite the hurry, as you can imagine. Looks at me and says, well, call your mom and get a credit card number. We got to get a wrecker up here. So I get a credit card number, call down to the local wrecking outfit that I know has a 4-wheel drive wrecker. And he comes up. He gets up there and he looks at the car. He looks at my dad. He looks at me. He looks at my dad and goes, who was driving? And my dad points at me and says, my boy here. The wrecker driver, I'll never forget it. He says, I damn near didn't make it up here in 4-wheel drive in my wrecker. I thought I was coming up after some big old mud truck. He says, you got yourself in a pickle, but I gotta say, I'm damn impressed. And of course, that put a big old smile on my face. I was happy to hear that. Then I turned and looked at my dad, and the scowl coming off him. Well, I understand it now, being a dad. It wasn't so much a scowl as he was kind of proud of me at the same time. So we get the car winched back up onto the road, drive it home. And then, let's see, I had that car for quite a while. Would have been, let's see, senior year in high school, 2005. Still driving that car. And, well, I'm driving to work, or no, I'd been driving the car, and I knew that one of my axle shafts was going out. You know, you turn the wheel, and you hear the click, 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 click. All right, well, it's got to wait on a paycheck. At the time, I was an assistant greenskeeper at a golf course we were trying to get put in. Okay, cool. No problem. Well, the problem is, the golf course is about 2.5, 3 miles out on this old log road. But it was all graded real nice and everything. You know, they've been bringing equipment in. So I'm driving home one day, come around the corner, the wheels won't straighten up. I can't turn the wheel. And rather than hitting the brakes and stopping and figuring out what's wrong, I just so happened I could turn the wheel just a touch, and I was able to get just the right angle. I found a big old rock in the road, and I hit it with the tire, and it broke the steering loose again. So, hightail it home. The turn to get onto my street, I took it so wide a semi-truck could have gone to the inside of my car. Get home, I got to make a 90-degree turn into my driveway. It was an 8-point turn because that axle was so locked up. When I took the axle out of the car, I remember it came out in 4 pieces. So, definitely got my money's worth there. And driving the car for a while more, and ended up losing the ignition module out of it. $90 part. Well, 90 bucks, that's almost, a whole paycheck. And at the time being, 17, 18 years old, 90 bucks, I don't have that. It might as well have been 900. So I traded the car with a clean title. I traded the whole car not running for a carburetor to put on my old 77 Dodge Power Wagon. So I went from a K car that would get about 20 miles to the gallon to an old Dodge pickup, 4-speed, 4-wheel drive with a 318 that got about 8 miles to the gallon. But that's a story for another day. Before I go, one other story driving that car in the wintertime. See, once I got past the old 6-month, probationary period, I started driving me and my brothers to school. Middle of winter. So, we're driving to school, and I want to be cool. Coming up the street, lock up the e-brake, spin the car around a couple times, put it backwards into a snowbank. Alright. Drive right out, no big deal. Just boys having fun. Going, then there's a pretty good hill climb to get up to our school. Just about to the top of the hill, it's all black ice. Just about to the top of the hill, and the car runs out of gas. And I had to get pushed up the hill by a minivan. Then call my stepmom to come pick me and my brothers up so we can get to school. Yeah, that was embarrassing. Having to get pushed up the hill by a minivan. Of course, all the other high school kids are driving by, laughing and honking. Yeah, that car, great little car. The back end of it would come around in no time flat if you were on the snow and the ice. It was not the most stable in the wintertime. And to give you a little more definition, car was all factory when I got it. Okay? Factory wheels, factory tires, factory color, everything. Had an AM radio in the dash, FM receiver up under the dash. Well, that wasn't good enough. I wanted more sound. I wanted more speakers. So I came up with some computer-style, small, little 45 degrees, household speakers, and stuck those up in the back dash. And then I think I did the same thing in the front. I think I had a couple on the front dash and a couple on the rear dash. And then my buddy, he traded me a stereo, I think it was a Pioneer. And it was a really cool stereo because it had the loud button. So, and I didn't want to cut the dash of the car up. So I left the AM stereo in. I took out the FM receiver, and I used a couple of L brackets for shelving and some plumber's tape, and I screwed it right down to the tranny hump and leaned it up against the seat. That was my killer stereo system in that car. And it would crank up pretty good. And of course, now looking back, it probably sounded like ultimate crap. But boy, was it cool. Yeah, and then I needed tires for the car. You know, after running it for the first 6 months or so, the tires were about ready to fall off the car. Probably already had a couple of flats. So, my uncle had a set of wheels and tires that were about the right size off of an old Dodge Omni. Okay? No problem. Well, the wheels off the Dodge Omni, we're talking 1980s honeycomb, canary yellow honeycomb wheels going on this Plymouth Reliant that's canary yellow. This thing was a rolling billboard for ugly, and I loved it. That car, if I had a chance to get another one, I probably would. No power steering. It did have power brakes. 3-speed automatic. If I was into a headwind that was more than 20 mile an hour, the car would not do over 52 mile an hour. Gutless wonder, but I had more fun in that car than I've ever had in any other car. So, that's my first car story. So, thanks again to Uncle Tony's Garage for, you know, kicking that memory in for me the other day. You know, just by telling what he did. It's basically some of the stuff I did. And it just got me feeling nostalgic, so I thought I'd just share my story with you guys. Sorry about all the background noise. I'm trying to go down the road and make a living. But I just thought I'd share. We will catch you next time. Please, in the comments, leave your car stories. Let me know, you know, what stupid stuff you did as a kid before YouTube and camera phones, and before we all got caught doing this stupid shit. What'd you get away with? What do your parents not know you did? You know, what'd you do to have fun? Well, we will catch you next time, and for now, have a good one.